Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, we're just having some technical difficulties in chambers there. We're going to start off with our Financial and Administrative Services Committee. On this committee are myself, Councillors O'Connor, Councillors Berg, and Mayor Clayton. We'll get started with our reports, and our first area is our service area update, and I'll look to Chief Whiteway, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. So just a few updates from the service area. Assessment notices were mailed out on January 25th. So if any property owners have not received their notice by now, please feel free to reach out to our Assessment and Taxation Department. Final date of complaint is set for April 3rd. Inspections in the downtown business area will begin soon in order to prepare for the levy that's required. And tax is working with property owners in regards to upcoming tax sales in the month of March. Our finance team is wrapping up the operating piece of the audit, which is set for the first week of March, and are working through capital projects from 2023. In procurement, this is our busy time in procurement as we list bids on the market for our 2024 projects. Currently, there's 7 bids open online. And that does conclude my service area update for today.
Okay, thanks for that, Ms. Whiteway. Councillor Bressie.
Great, thank you, Chair Palat. I'm curious with assessments out if we know yet what average assessment change was.
Thank you, through the chair. So far, it appears that our residential assessments have increased just about 3%, whereas our non-residential have stayed pretty similar to last year.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to our next item, our amendment to borrow bylaw. And am I bringing this back to you again, Chief Whiteway?
Yes, thank you, Chair Palat. So today we are recommending that committee recommend council give 3 readings to bylaw C-1428A as presented. What this is an increase to the current available amount for an operating line of credit. The city currently has the ability to borrow on an operating line of credit up to $5 million. This would allow that to be increased to $15 million. So administration does regularly review and forecast cash balances to ensure that we have sufficient cash flow to meet all disbursements. With our tax levy in May of each year, a significant amount of our tax is collected in June, where we make the decision to invest based on cash flow requirements. Many of our investments do expire around early spring, and late winter to ensure that we can have cash on hand to meet operating requirements. What we did run into this year was the ability to invest at a higher interest rate. However, we would require an additional amount on our line of credit. This is something that ongoing will be a benefit to the city, as it allows us to have the flexibility to strategize when interest rates are higher in the bond market versus borrowing. So that way we can ensure that we are making the best use of cash through our investing and borrowing. This decision will not have a tax implication. It will not impact budget for additional costs, but it will actually allow us to invest in and earn greater interest earnings that would more than pay for any interest costs if we were to borrow short term. And with that, I will take any questions.
Okay, thank you for that. Questions? Nobody's jumping up to put their hand up on this one. Councillor Berg.
Thanks, Chair Palat. So at the risk of oversimplifying this, Chief Whiteway, essentially we do have the money that is earning an amazing rate of return. So this borrowing just allows us to maintain that high rate of return, and actually we'll see a net benefit at the end because the interest we're paying potentially off this line of credit will be less than the interest we're earning.
Thank you, through the chair. That is an excellent summary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Berg. Councillor Thiessen? Okay, actually, I'm going to defer to our CEO, Burke first, please.
If I could just ask Chief Whiteway to explain how this is reported to council throughout the year, use of this line of credit.
Thank you, through the chair. So with a line of credit, it is considered short-term borrowing, which would mean that we are only anticipating 2 to 4 months of utilizing this. So within our quarterly reports, we always report to council what our borrowing is currently at. We present our statement of financial position each and every quarter. So you would expect to see that there would be a draw on quarter 1, which would be our March reporting. And the hope would be that in June, you would not see that as a borrowing of the city. We would have it repaid with the tax levy. So it's a very short period of time that we would utilize this. And it really is just that we want to be able to have that flexibility to be able to invest when it makes best sense and borrow. But of course, if borrowing rates were higher than what we would achieve through an investment, then the opposite approach would be taken and administration would not access this line of credit. So we will always every year make sure that mathematically and financially for the city that the borrowing would have to be of more of a benefit.
Thanks for that explanation. That gives a little bit further clarity. Councillor Thiessen.
Sorry, new technology, old technology, push a button. I appreciate that, actually, because that was in line with what my question was, whether or not we would be carrying this balance over time. So if I understand this correctly, and maybe this is my own interpretation, but this is a way not only to ensure that we have the money to pay all our cash debts, if in the event that we don't get everybody paying their property taxes. It also seems like, I don't know, a very creative method to generate cash out of thin air, using the interest rates and borrowing and our investments as well. So can't say I agree with the economics of that, but at the same time, this is a good safety net for the citizens of Grande Prairie. So those are my comments.
Thanks, Councillor Thiessen. I'm just wondering for business arising, if I can just get some clarity. There's 2 options in the package. Are we wanting option 2? Is that what admin is recommending?
Administration is recommending that committee recommend council give 3 readings to bylaw C-1428A as presented.
Okay, so if there's no other questions, I would just look for some business arising, please.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Mayor Clayton, I didn't see your hand up.
Thanks. I'm just wondering if the CFO can let us know how this is comparable to other mid-sized cities. It's a fair amount of an increase to our line of credit, and I'm just wondering how other mid-sized cities treat their investments in line of credits in regards to using investments for streams of revenue. Do you have any comparables?
Thank you, through the chair. I don't offhand have exact comparables. However, I do know that many would operate with an access to a line of credit for exactly this type of situation. And it doesn't occur often that your interest earnings could be so great on reinvestment. The bond market is doing really well, and we would just like the continued availability to be able to strategize and make these decisions. But it is common practice to have an operating line of credit. As we know, all municipalities would have the same cycle of cash flows with the bulk of your levy coming in June. But of course, we still have to pay. We have to pay requisitions, although we've not levied them. We still have to have many bills throughout the year. So this will offer that flexibility, and many do operate. I just don't know the exact numbers that they have.
If I could, Chair.
Yep, go ahead.
Palat. Yeah, my question isn't in regards to justification of the line of credit. I completely appreciate that that's normal business. My question is in regards to the amount. To jump from 5 to 15 is fairly significant. I'm wondering if that number is arbitrary, just if you can give us a bit more background on how you came to that number.
Certainly, again, through the chair. So we do plan out our cash flows annually. We do know what we're normally in need of for the months of March, April, and May. So it's not arbitrarily chosen. It is chosen based on knowing that we have school requisitions that have to be paid. We have an RCMP contract that has to be paid. We do know our sort of average expenditures each and every month. So we've timed bonds to expire to be able to deposit into our operating account. So each and every year we do go through this. We've just always utilized our investments in the past. We now, again, as I've said, we're in a different situation. But no, it's not arbitrary. It is planned based on what our cash requirements are.
Thanks for that. Any other questions, Mayor Clayton?
No, thank you.
Okay. Councillor O'Connor.
Yes, I'd like to move that the city move ahead on the amendment to the borrowing bylaw and have 3 readings of C-1428A.
Just to clarify, Councillor O'Connor's motion is that committee recommend council, correct?
Yeah.
Correct, Chip. Any discussion or debate on that? Okay, seeing none, we'll call that question, please. Mayor Clayton, how do you vote? And that carries. Thank you for that. So we have no correspondence, no other business. So we'll move down to our outside item list and back to Chief Whiteway, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. So there is no change to the outstanding items list as presented.
Okay. Councillor O'Connor?
Yes, I'd like to move that we accept the updated, I can't even speak English, updated items list for approval, please.
Thanks, Councillor O'Connor. Please vote. And with that, that carries, and that will adjourn our Financial and Administrative Services Committee, and we'll be back in a few minutes with our next one. Are we coming back live for CCW? Yeah, okay. Thank you.